For me, there are two answers to that question, I think. The first one is that when I was very young, I spent a lot of time running around in the bush in northwestern Ontario alone. And so I had that direct experience. Then when I was in school, and it must have been late primary.
But where in Western Ontario, first of all?
Kenora.
Kenora.
Up near Kenora.
Yeah, Lake of the Woods.
Lake of the Woods, Blindfold Lake specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in school, I can remember one day a teacher taking the class outside, and we were in a school that was in a small town, so there was lots of bush around it. And the teacher took us to a place where there was a ditch that had water in it because it was springtime. And for me, this was just like being back in that solitude and that freedom that I had in Kenora, except that it was a teacher in a classroom taking us out. And I had trouble getting my head around the idea that this was a legitimate part of schooling.
Yeah.
But eventually, later on, I realized that this is not only legitimate, it's essential. And when I look back at the experiences that were meaningful for me, those two things, the one moment and then the many years, many hours, are the two pivotal things for me. For me, I wouldn't say that there is an aspect of this field that has been least satisfying. I would have to use words more like frustrating or something like that when I think of
that's fine. Those are pretty similar, yeah.
And it's the frustration is that not everybody just catches fire with it, because it is so powerful that there are so many people who are caught in other things that they can't make that step. They're not willing to take the risk into actually having a direct experience, particularly if it potentially involves some physical discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
But really it's more at the level of support of people who have the purse strings and that sort of thing, or the political areas where people are more concerned with the economy and how does this contribute to the economy and that sort of thing. That would be the area that's most frustrating to me. Most rewarding, most satisfying is just the look that people get in their eyes, whether they're 8 years old or 80 years old. It's just that wow look that people get when they actually experience something for the first time, and that varies so much. You know, there are some experiences that people say that to me are heartbreaking when somebody sees the stars for the first time in their life because of where they've grown up. You know, that's hard for me to experience, to realize that what their lives have been like, that they'd never seen the stars before. But then when they do, there's that moment of awe that is just absolutely inspiring to me. And to be the vehicle through which people are brought to that place is such an honor and such a privilege. And that to me is the most satisfying.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to people coming into the field now? What would you like to have them know about or be able to say to them at this point?
I think that what I would say is pay attention to your head, but follow your heart. That really has to be it.
Be specific about how that would work.
Well, it's good when you are presenting programs or creating programs to know about the research, to have some ability to quote the studies that have been done, to know a little bit maybe about brain biochemistry and that sort of thing, to know about authors like Richard Louv and some of the other people who have really brought things together in the recent past in a way that speaks to huge numbers of people, you know, as we can see from the response to Louv's book. And when it's follow your heart, what I mean by that is spend some time in stillness with yourself so that you know what's right for you. And then make that happen. Don't be guided by or constrained by financial necessity or political wins or any of that sort of thing. Just find what your passion is and then live it and be that passion. Gather around you people who share that passion, or talk to elders and find out what their path was. Because one of the worst things that can happen to anybody when they're involved in an endeavor of the heart is to feel like they're alone. And no matter what we're doing, we're never alone. Is that specific enough?
That's specific enough. That's great.
Good.